All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the Way to a Great Marriage Cast. This is Loranda. I'm Tony. Rhonda is going to sing one of Omi's, that's her mother's songs that she wrote years ago. And so this is dedicated to Omi.
The name of this song is It's Never Too Late, February 23rd, 2002. I'm not going to sing it, I'm going to read it because I've never heard it. She wrote so many. It was early one morning, about the break of dawn. I heard a sound of thunder like I'd never heard before. There was silence for a moment, and I heard my Savior say, "Child, I'm here. You know, I'm never too late. I'm never too early, and I'm never too late. I'm always on time. All you have to do is wait. You know I'm here to help you. Just call on my name. I am the great I am, my love, and it will never change. You must pray, not by my will, but thine be done. God the Father, in the name of your only Son. I'm here, said the Father. I'm always on time, waiting for you to ask me. For you, my love, my love now abides. Be still and know, child, I am the one. You can hear me when you listen in more ways than one. The Holy Spirit will guide you in all that you do. Be still and listen. I will lead you. You're never alone, child. If you'll mention my name, I'll be right beside you and walk with you in your pain. You don't have to worry. I'll take away your fear. Lay them down at my feet. I'll turn your sadness into cheer. What a wonderful song, Mom, that God gave you. I'd never heard that before. Never too late. That's what it looks like. I found it in her book. So thank you, God, for giving Mom that song.
So we want to ask you guys to be praying on Thursday about 3:30 for Braden. Braden's having a rough time right now. And so we'll ask you to pray for him on Thursday about 3:30. We would appreciate that.
Yes.
Tonight, Rick Warren, we're on last Wednesday. Rick Warren on his Daily Hope was in the Crazy Maker series. You Make Me Crazy.
You make me crazy.
And the title of his message last Wednesday was, or his Daily Hope was, Let God Guide Your Choices. I think it picks up from where we were last night about picking a mate, but we will see. It says, those who are kind benefit themselves, but the cruel bring ruin to themselves. Proverbs 1:17. We had that one in the last one.
Yeah,
I think we
did.
had Amos 3:3, which hey Elaine.
Hey, Bailey.
Thank you for praying for us Thursday.
Yes.
And so Amos 3:3 says, can two people walk together without agreeing on the action? I'm thinking of a three-legged race. Have you ever been in a three-legged race? You have
Or you tie these together?
Yeah, you have to walk together.
Yes.
And cooperate. You can't just go on and do your own thing.
No, you'll fall.
Yeah, you'll fall.
You fall down.
And that's kind of how I guess a marriage is, right?
Yes.
If you wait for the perfect wife or the perfect husband, you'll never find them. Did we did this one last night, didn't we?
I thought you just revamped them.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I look for a spouse who tells you the truth.
Yeah, we did that one last night.
We did this one last night. I'm sorry. Let me go to the next one.
Nothing wrong with revamping what we did last night. I don't think.
So let me go to Thursdays. Is unpack your emotional baggage before marriage.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
We're still in the Crazy Maker series. You Make Me Crazy, and this one is to have the best chance at a strong relationship. You and your potential partner need to each have a personal relationship with Jesus.
That's right.
And so Proverbs 28:23, it says, in the end, people appreciate honest criticism far more than flattery.
Yeah.
So those of you who are people pleasers out there,
Who? None of us. I don't
being
know
brutally honest is
what
better
you're talking about.
than building somebody up whenever it's not true.
But you don't have to be mean to them when you're brutally honest.
Yeah. Well,
You don't have to.
the psychiatrist I was watching last night said if your wife comes and asks you how she looks in something,
Don't look fat, and this just make my
that
hips look
is
big.
an appropriate reason to lie.
Baby, you look wonderful.
Yes, exactly. You weigh the consequences. No. Before you start dating someone, it's crucial that you make an honest assessment of your own emotional health and that of your potential partner. I remember marrying a couple many years ago at Saddleback. About 5 years later, my wife Kay and I had them over for dinner. The woman told me when I walked down the aisle in that white dress, I had no idea that I was carrying an entire bag of emotional baggage on my back, and I took all the baggage into the marriage.
Of course.
Marriage does not create problems; it reveals them, and so it reveals them. The more you can deal with emotional problems before you get married, the happier, uh, uh, more God honoring, and more fulfilling your marriage is going to be.
Yes.
So, a lot of people, that's they say that 80% of people have been abused
Absolutely.
or harmed
Yes.
in their lifetime.
Yes.
And so a lot of people have been raped or molested as children.
Yes.
Hey, Terry Warren.
Hey, Terry.
Have been raped or hit the dismiss.
Oh.
Oh, you can't. It's not.
Oh.
I took off the touch screen because it goes crazy. They have been physically or mentally abused by their parents, and they never did deal with that. So if they had if they were raped by a stepbrother, and then or if they were raped by the neighbor,
or even abused of any kind,
whoever in their kids. Well, I'm getting there. Then they're a lot of times the mother doesn't believe them,
right?
Or
a lot of times
one of the parents doesn't believe them,
yep,
and aren't willing to remove them from the
yep,
situation.
That helps. I mean,
then you have a parent that is beating the child, physically abusing them, and then they go into a relationship and they have or either it could be just like our fathers were. We grew up in a time where that the father was supposed to provide for the family, and so he wasn't there.
He worked all the time.
He was working all the time.
We had our mom.
We had our mom, and so as a woman, that would make it difficult to relate to men, and or if you had it might make it difficult if as a man, if your mom was abusive, to relate to women, and so those kind of things need to be dealt with before you get married. And that's the reason anymore a good pastor, before he marries anybody, he does marriage counseling. I do a SYMBIS assessments, and it's really great because it helps you to realize how that the other person is going to fight. In the relationship. We took a SYMBIS assessment.
We did
before we got.
I had no clue what it was, and Tony said, "Let's take this to see if we're compatible." And we were really compatible, 98%.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But as we were talking, most people marry opposites. We were talking about one will, you were asking me on the way to Beattyville, why are some, people, why is it always these nice people or with somebody that's mean?
Mean.
And in their marriage? Well, that's because opposites attract, and
Yeah.
actually, their predators look for nice people, so that they can get away with things. Men are people. I guess we got to think women do the same
Women
thing.
and
Now,
men.
they cheat on their spouses, and so they look for somebody who will let them get away with it without, holding them accountable. We know so many people that their spouses have cheated on them for decades, and they haven't done anything about it. So they predators look for people who are like that. So
pushovers.
Who are pushovers, and they'll look for people who have been victims of things before. That's one of the things you'll see, people who have been abused.
Yeah.
It's repeated over and over again because abusers will know what to look for. They will say, "Oh, there's a person that's been abused," and they'll just jump in,
and they're weak,
so that they can abuse you and take advantage of you. That's why you see people who've been raped or sexually molested over and over and over again by different people.
Or beat.
Yeah.
I've seen a woman almost with her eyeball popping out, and she just kept going back for more.
Right.
Beat. Forget about sexual.
And then other people
beat.
will do the same thing. They'll go from one relationship to another, where it's all, like me, where one abusive relationship after another.
Yeah.
Because that's all we know, or that's
all you deserve.
Or predators are looking for people who, I was raped as a child, so that they were looking for somebody like me that was vulnerable, that they could control and do things with.
Right.
And that's the what people do, and so you have to deal with those things before you get married, so you aren't you're not getting in a relationship with somebody who's controlling and abusive and manipulative, and it will destroy you. Now, if you're one of those, that's abusive, manipulative, and controlling, and all that, you've got to learn to deal with that as well. But some of those personality disorders that we talked about, and I don't know, it takes years of counseling.
Yeah.
And
you don't get out of it just like
and
that.
anymore, people don't want to do counseling. The doctor who is able to do counseling just wants the medication rather than helping you. But to be able to overcome some of those things, you could be talking about years of psychotherapy to be able to. Cognitive therapy is what it is.
Yeah.
To be able to change the way that you treat other people. And start with yourself. Don't date unless your own emotional hurts are healed, or at least in the healing process. Do you struggle with bitterness or anger problems? Work through those before you start dating. That's where a Celebrate Recovery is great, because going through the 12 steps. Starting with step 4, we list people who have harmed us, or that we have harmed, and then we build through step 9 to where we actually make amends or forgive the individual. It's a slow process over about 6-month period of time. It's not like something that you have to just like all of a sudden. And it didn't happen overnight, and it can't be healed overnight. It's something that has to be bathed in prayer and takes time to get over this harm that was done to us before. At an early age. Then when you begin dating someone, size the person up quickly, particularly related to their emotional health. Don't be afraid to ask questions like, do you have uncontrolled anger? Are you selfish? I don't think they will answer correctly on that one.
They're going to lie.
Are you greedy? How do you treat your parents? After one of my abusive relationships, I went to the Bethany House in Somerset. It's a women's treatment facility, but they did offer counseling for men who had been abused. And let's see if I remember his name. I can't remember. Don Whitehead. Don Whitehead counseled me for months, and he gave me one of the good things is he gave you a questionnaire to ask somebody that you're dating. have you ever been arrested for a crime? You would never think about that. Some people may
Yeah.
have been, and you would never
That happened to me.
you would never know it.
Mhm.
And what crime have you been arrested for? Have you ever hit somebody of the opposite sex? They have a list of questions. Might do good to drop by a women's shelter like that and just get their list of questions. I don't remember them all. That's been years ago, and that way it helps you to question people whenever that they have, asking, were you, raped or molested as a child, and then
They probably won't tell you that.
and have you dealt with it? Well,
Yeah,
lots
no.
of times in the first few dates, people tell you everything.
I don't know.
They dump everything. But
I doubt if they would say that. I promise. I doubt.
okay,
if they would
well,
say
if you've been abused,
they might say yes.
in your life,
Yeah.
80% of people have been abused. What did you do to deal with that abuse in your life? What have you done to work on that and to get over that? Are you angry or bitter because of this abuse?
Yes.
That
They'll say yes.
yeah, and so and then that's whenever you say, whenever they drop you off, I'm sorry, I can't see you again, but or I'm busy next week. I'm sorry, but
But did you ever date like that? Really, truly?
Huh?
Did you ever do that on dates?
No,
No.
but
It's a hard thing
you
to
see
do.
where it got me too.
Yeah,
I mean,
did.
I went through 2 more abusive relationships after that. After that period of time. The
Right.
next wife punched me in the mouth, and then the next wife attacked me twice, with just kept
Went crazy.
punching me, and on 2 occasions. It hadn't been for Annabelle, I've been mincemeat. But anyway, if you see warning signs of unresolved emotional difficulties, don't wait until around to see if it gets better.
Right.
Go ahead and
Leave.
walk away.
Run.
Like the last one, her son had completed suicide. I learned that about it. I tried to get her help with that, but and she never got over it. And then and then she was raped as a child, and her mother by her stepdad was one of them, and her mom didn't believe her, and she held this anger and bitterness toward her mom and her stepdad and over her son completing suicide. She was just an emotional wreck. The same thing with the one before that. She, her brother had been killed. They believe by in a drug situation. There was needle marks all over his body where that they simultaneously injected them. But these people, you can't believe anything they tell you, so I don't know. And then her mom died of COPD, and she had never gotten over that. Plus, whatever happened to her when she was a kid, she was put in foster care for a little while. And I didn't see all that. I was sympathetic, and I thought, we think that we can help people like that. We want to but we can from a distance.
Not by marrying them.
Now, don't marry him. You run.
Don't marry them.
You can
That's
talk
a
to
mistake.
them on the phone and help them. Just don't ever date them again.
Yeah.
And so you need to run from situations.
I don't
like
think you could even talk to them on the phone, because then you would fall in love with them and try to help.
Sure.
Oh, I'm going to help you.
Men help men and
you.
women help women. Right?
Yes.
Yes. So
You talk to a woman.
Tell one of your women friends.
That's
hey,
right.
You need to help her. She's
not another man. No.
But maybe you're already in a dating relationship, and you now see the signs of emotional unhealth in your partner. If so, talk with your partner about it. It's either time to get professional counseling, or it may be time to end the relationship. And one of the things is usually they'll want to do is they'll want to blame, say you're the one with the problem. I don't have a problem. You're the one.
We all have problems, sister.
Right, and so they'll they may agree to go to counseling, but they're wanting you to get fixed and not them. And so that's that's one of the things you have to watch out for.
And look out for counselors. I'm going to say something. I've been a Christian counselor, not like from a, I want to do quotation marks, just a, what would you call it? Just a Christian counselor. I don't have a degree.
You give wise counsel.
I just give wise counsel through the Bible.
Biblical
wise counsel, yes. And, people will go to a counselor like one that's got a master's in it, and there'll be a man and a woman sitting there, and if say the man has had these terrible affairs, they will look at him and remind him, do you know how much you have hurt her? That's real good counseling. Yeah, he knows.
Make him feel guilty.
You make him feel guilty. It's not doing anybody any good.
Right.
You try to say, this is what we need to do about this situation. You had an affair, or to the woman, you had an affair, whoever, or whatever, you beat her. You beat your wife. We need to take care of this and see what the root of your problem is, and not go, do you know because you beat her and her eyeball popped out that you hurt her? And she had to go, yes, he knows. So why go over that? And if you're a Christian counselor and you're watching, or a psychologist, or whoever you are, that's no good to do that.
Well, they do, and they usually do the opposite of that. What they do is because you come in for couples counseling, they try to make themselves as neutral as can be. So if somebody is problematic, like we were saying, somebody needs counseling, and they say, well, I'll go to counseling if you'll go with me.
Yes, that happens all the time.
Then getting counseling on their own,
right?
Then they will. The counselor will. If they play the counselor and try to blame you, then the counselor will kind of try to keep it balanced. We'll talk about
of the time.
What's your problem,
yeah.
And then we'll talk about yours, and so they make you out and feel like the bad guy.
Yes.
In some cases,
yes.
But really you're the victim, and so couples counseling doesn't really often work in abusive situations.
Well,
if one of them has has this abuse in their past,
yes,
and the bitterness and anger that they needs to be one-on-one counseling.
Well, this is what I was going to say. In a couples counseling, I've done it at church, and you want to talk with them both at first,
right? And
then you say, you look at the one that really needs the help, and most of the time both of them do, but the one that is the abuser or whatever, and you say, do you feel like coming back so I can counsel you, and we'll read what the Bible says about it, just me and you, she can sit outside,
mm-hmm.
and then vice versa, she comes in and you counsel her
mm-hmm.
alone,
right.
And then you bring that couple back together. Right. That's how I always did it.
Yeah, that's what
I always did.
Couples counseling that I had seen was like that.
Yes.
Where you brought them in, talked about what was going on, then you saw them one at a time.
Yes.
And then you brought them back together and rehash. And so that gives you the opportunity as a counselor, the victim, you can then do some training on how to handle boundaries and situations like that. Then with the perpetrator, you can try to do the cognitive counseling that they need to be able to.
It really works great. I've seen couples get back together.
But the way he has it worded there, it almost sounds like that he's suggesting couples. It could be just seek counseling.
Yeah.
But really, from our experience, I would suggest that you tell them they need counseling if they want to continue the relationship. Set that boundary that I can continue dating you as long as you seek this counseling. If you see anger or bitterness, if you actually if they're abusing you, then you need to run from the situation.
Go away. Separate yourself.
But I won't have anybody to go out with on Friday night.
Right. That's how they feel.
Here's the truth. A bad marriage is a million times worse than not going out on Friday night. And the longer you stay in a dead-end relationship, the more difficult it is to get out. And that's the trap that the abusers do, is they will get you trapped in a emotional relationship or that you feel like you can't
leave.
you can't leave, even though
Yeah.
you're just dating.
Right.
Like they'll rush things. They'll go ahead. They'll try to go ahead and become sexually active with you. They'll try to, oh, I love you. They'll rush. That was one of the warning signs. Is they'll be the first one to tell you they love you. And that's the reason it kind of drives me nuts. You're with some of your friends. Oh, we're twinsies.
Twinsies.
Oh, we
Well, I do.
I did the same. I had the same growing up that you did.
We're twinsies.
You were just as identical.
That bugs Tony.
And then they will, and as they learn about you, they'll tell you stories about their past, which they're lying their butt off. Everything they tell you is a lie, and they'll tell you all these things about their past that you just told, that just so that you will create that enmeshment bond of the codependent that you so desire as a codependent, but and they know how to feed on them.
Yeah.
And so that's what you have to watch out for. That was one of the warning signs. Is do they quickly tell you that they love you?
Oh yeah, that's funny.
I've never felt like
Second date
before with you. I guess you've had that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Proverbs 28:23 said, "In the end, people appreciate honest criticism far more than flattery." So, I mean, if they actually have a problem, they will appreciate you helping, bringing that up and helping them get help with it or counseling.
Right.
But if they have a bad motive, then they'll get angry and blow up.
That's right.
And
that's right.
And that sort of thing.
If you're with somebody and they get angry and they blow up, something's wrong.
No matter how much it hurts, be honest with yourself and your partner today. In the end, you both will benefit from it. One more thing: to have the best chance at a strong relationship, you and your potential partner need to each have a personal relationship with Jesus. If you haven't taken that step, start there. Making peace with God will give you the spiritual foundation you need to get emotionally healthy and make peace with yourself and others too. Life has no guarantees, but two emotionally healthy followers of Jesus have the stronger foundation they need to build a marriage of deep soul intimacy that is personal, relational, sexual, and spiritual. And he doesn't go into as much as he does on the podcast.
Right.
I think I remember him saying that the odds of a divorce in this day and time is like 50-50, but a divorce between two Christians who are in church and are emotionally healthy is like 1 in 1,000 or something like that.
Oh wow!
Is that what he?
You don't remember?
You don't remember hearing that?
I love that. Yeah.
And so it really changes the dynamics. If you're both going to church together, you have the same you see the same beliefs about God, and you're wanting to pursue them together, like me and Rhonda do. There's nothing that can break up that marriage like it can if one of you or both of you don't know the Lord. You're not going to church. There's no community community help. There's nothing there to help you improve yourself in any way. No wonder it's half of marriages end in divorce.
Right.
So talk it over. If you're dating someone, have you taken an honest look at their emotional health? What hard questions do you need to ask them today? And I think the problem is as a codependent person, the first thing we try to do is we want to put this person on a pedestal. They're perfect, and we can't see we don't see anything wrong with them. Some people call that rose-colored glasses. We only see the good about them. They may tell us. In fact, if you will listen, they will tell you everything that you need to know. But many times we'll just overlook that. That was in their past. That was a few years ago. They're not like that anymore. And we'll talk ourselves into an abusive situation.
Really.
And so take a few minutes to assess your own emotional health. What emotional baggage are you carrying around? And so we've had to do that.
We have. Me and you both. I mean, me and him both.
Celebrate Recovery has really helped along on this since I met her, and I've done that. Like I told you last night, whenever I started having marriage trouble, which like I said, this is how it goes in one of those relationships. You have a good time for 5 minutes, and then bam, you're down,
Yep.
and then you're always trying to get back to that 5 minutes that you had, but it never happens again.
Never happens.
And so, during those periods of time, whenever, I was miserable, afraid that they were going to divorce me at any moment, living in that kind of situation, or they're living in the abusive situation, I read and I learned, spent that time doing that. I found great comfort in reading self-help books. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
See what somebody said.
Elaine said, "I've been told I'm emotionally shut down when I date because I don't open up for a while." And yes, Elaine, we probably all do that. We're maybe on guard, and that's probably good to guard your heart whenever that's your first dating. If it's the other person that's telling you that, maybe you need to question that person, whether they're wanting you to open up so that they can be abusive
Hurt
to you.
Yeah.
Where you really take this in consideration is probably in your small group in CR. That's what I always tell people. If they tell me that I'm something, I say, well, I'll run that up the flag in my small group at CR and see if anybody salutes.
Yeah.
And so, maybe something did happen at some point where that you felt like, where you can't trust people or something like that. And so you may want to examine that, but maybe, some of that is natural. We would hope eventually after you've been dating for a while, you eventually open up and be able to communicate with somebody. It's not healthy. That's one of the things that I do. I'm a runner. I shut down. I know that about myself from doing small groups step study, and Celebrate Recovery, that I have a tendency to run away and shut down and that sort of thing, and not address the issues that I need to. And so we need to make sure that if it's important, that we are present, and that we are willing to talk about things that are important. But when you first start dating, it's awkward, and if you're just shy, or if you're like me, you're just not that big of a talker. I know you can't believe I'm
not now, not right now.
Right now, but
you got a lot to say.
But listen quickly, and I talk quickly.
Yeah.
but I don't. That's what I would say is maybe it's a good thing, to in the beginning to be on guard your heart, for out of it flows all the issues of life. So we need to guard our heart, just not maybe down the road. If you see after you've been dating for a while and it's appropriate for you to be opening up emotionally with this other person, then that would be a problem.
And I'm total opposite. I mean, you get what you see.
You lay it out there.
I lay it out there on there. You either take it or you walk away. No, you all know me. Elaine knows me.
That's how opposites attract.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm like, here I am. This is what's happened in my life, and if we want to date, hey, we'll give it a try. And if not, see you later.
But we complement each other.
Yeah, we do. We do. Absolutely.
So, we have to look at it like that now.
Yes.
But whenever you're dating, it probably, opposites are fun, but really you probably should try to find somebody that's
similar.
That's as similar to you as you can find.
Yes.
Even if they're boring to you.
Yeah.
Think of an emotionally healthy couple in your life. What can you learn from them?
It was my parents.
Oh, okay.
They was very much emotionally. I mean, my dad, he never had anger issues at all, but he was an authority figure. You know, he bought mom's cars and she didn't really have a say so, but she loved that because she was codependent, because that's what we were taught.
Right.
We were taught our men take care of us, we take care of our men. Mom would have never asked you what you wanted for supper. She would make it and set it before you.
Right. And you ate what
was set before you.
Yeah.
You didn't say, "Hey Tony, what do you want for supper?"
It's this generation
Yeah.
that we raised that messed all that up. They I don't want to eat that.
I ain't eating that. Don't fix me
Okay,
that.
well, don't eat that. That's
But,
fine. You go to bed hungry.
Yeah.
That's what that Dr. Phil would say.
Yeah, don't eat it. But yeah, so that would be my emotional couple. Now, in 4 years of me and you,
Right.
We've had our major struggles, as you will, anybody you marry.
The first 5 years of a marriage are the hardest.
It's the hardest. Don't say it's
Especially
you're out of the honeymoon.
Especially the first year.
The honeymoon is the hardest.
Yeah.
Oh, they're out of the honeymoon season now.
That's why they give you a honeymoon season.
Yeah. So I think 5 years is then you're into your honeymoon season after the 5 years, because you get to know each other. But I think we're now, even just this year, we're a pretty emotionally grounded couple.
Yeah, I would have said us, but I mean, my mom and dad, I never saw them fight. And I only saw them once. Like I told you, Mom messed up the checkbook.
Had to quit.
It was a nightmare, and it was bouncing checks left and right. Of course, I can see why Dad would be upset.
Bless her heart.
I'm providing for this home, and you're making me look bad. I can see him getting upset about
You're
this.
bouncing
And
the
I
checks.
thought we were broke the rest of my life that we were home. I never asked for anything after that.
I don't want nothing. No. No
But-
birthday. No
But it's but that's the way but I wish I had seen more of that interaction. I don't think you should see
major faults.
well, it's wrong for a child to see parents yelling at each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't
But
like
I
that.
think that they do need to see how that they work out their problems.
I do too.
To learn how to work out problems with their mate in the future. I think I lost the skill. Was deprived of the skills, in other words, of how to work out a problem, because I didn't see them working on problems.
I never seen my mom and dad fight, not one
All
time.
Dad had to do was just raise his voice, and she was in compliance immediately.
Yeah.
And that I'm not. I hope I'm not that way.
You're not. No.
And so
I would tell you if you
I
were.
want to talk. Get input. Of course, I let you do that basically what you want. Anyway.
Well, yeah, you do. You spoil me.
Yeah, I know. You went the other day and got a steak. That was Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Saturday, you went and got
I said, "You want something to eat?"
I was like, "No, don't give me."
Nah, don't get me
I
nothing.
don't ever want to
Nothing.
get me anything.
And I went to Texas Roadhouse and got me a steak and a salad and a baked potato.
I'm too stingy for me to eat out. Okay.
And so
But
I came home and ate about that much of the steak and half of the baked potato. He said, "Did you go to Texas Roadhouse?" I said, "Why, yes, I did." I wanted a steak. And
it was like, we're going out to eat tomorrow.
We're going tomorrow.
For lunch
I want a
after
steak
church.
today.
Why couldn't you wait till
And
that?
it did give us 2 meals. It really did.
Well,
So,
I ate it the next day.
You did.
Or,
yeah, it was good.
Sunday night or Monday night.
Yeah.
Something like that. But
It
anyway,
is
it's just one of those things. I was raised on leftovers, and it just
So was I.
But
Yeah,
soup beans. We
Soup
ate
beans
soup
and
beans
cornbread.
every night. The older
We
they got, the better they got.
Absolutely.
And cornbread was fresh every night.
Yes.
But-
Yep, for us too.
And then we'd have some sort of meat, and
Yeah.
that was about it.
That was it for us.
You would, she knew how to scorch the green beans just right.
The good guy.
She always said burnt green beans, but they were just
They were
scorched
so
to
good.
perfection. But anyway, that's just part of what you have to learn about living together.
Yeah.
Just a $50 steak.
Yeah. Oh, brother. It actually wasn't. It was $28. And we divided it. So so it wasn't real expensive. Not much more than McDonald's,
Even though I
really.
didn't want anything.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's true.
It's not much more than
Anymore, if you go
McDonald's.
to McDonald's, it's $10.
It's $12. at McDonald's,
so
right?
Yeah.
For a Big Mac meal. It's ridiculous.
Well, no,
you know.
that's for the quarter pounder.
That's for quarter pounder. Yeah, they're
Big Mac, I
cheaper.
don't know what that is. I haven't ordered one of those.
It's been a long time, but it's crazy, isn't it? How,
Yeah.
but no, I'm going to use my brother and his wife. They go out on dates, and Elaine, this will be really neat for you to know, and they call it a redneck date. And they go somewhere, usually McDonald's, and get them a cup of coffee and maybe a little pie, two for $1 or whatever they are
That
now.
was 30 years ago.
2 for $2.
At least, but prior to COVID.
Yeah, prior to COVID.
Now it's 2 for $5.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, it's before Joe Biden.
Yeah, before Joe Biden. But
COVID had nothing to do with it.
then they'll just drive somewhere, sit in a parking lot, and drink their coffee and eat their little McDonald's pie, and they call that a redneck date. But they're getting out together, and that it means a lot, guys and girls. If you're out there, if you just it's just that little bit of time that you make for each other. I mean, this is mine and Tony's time, that we share with you, and we really, I mean, I love this. I mean, when we get home, we was debatable tonight singing. We get home at 10 o'clock, and I go, "Hey, babe, are we doing the Wake to a Great Marriage dance?" Yes, because this is when we really, truly do our major talking. I know that sounds silly. So what you see is what you get on here, you all. Right?
Right. Any other questions, Billy? Terry, you're being quiet.
Terry's quiet tonight.
We got one more person on here.
Okay.
Before we go, last chance.
We love you guys. Thank you for always joining in.
Yeah, thank you for contributing, Bailey. It really helped. I hope we helped you.
I hope so.
And so you're like our little daughter in Christ.
You are our little daughter in Christ.
And
You
so
sure are.
Me and Roger will walk you down the aisle when the day comes.
You said, that's what you said. I look forward to that. I'll do your hair and your fingernails.
All right. So, we ask you to subscribe, because if you don't subscribe, that's my type of date. I don't need nothing fancy. But really, Elaine, that's one of the things that I learned if you have a daughter, as a Christian father, you need to take your daughter out and show her what's expected, how a man should treat you. I was really disappointed. I dated some women who said, "I've never been out on a date in my life." And I said, "Well, how old did you? I mean, I know you had men before." They said, "Well, they just came over and we watched the movie."
Oh, didn't take them out.
Didn't take them out.
Yeah.
And I cooked, when we was over here and stuff like that. Yeah. It's nice. We love you too, Elaine, so much. But it's one thing it is, it's nice that you're humble like that. But you should expect a man to take you out and to treat, to treat you nice and show you a good time. He may not be able to afford, an expensive Italian restaurant,
Sure,
or expensive steakhouse, but he could take you to a Mexican restaurant,
absolutely,
or a Chinese restaurant, or
absolutely,
something, just not like J.J. Evans,
No.
Big Mac at McDonald's.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good that you're humble like that, but a man should take you out and treat you like a queen.
And you always have.
And like you're a jewel, a precious jewel, that deserves to be honored and respected and that sort of thing. Not disrespected by just dropping over at your house and watching a movie with you.
Right.
And you're a cheap date, but you're not. You're a precious jewel.
Yes.
And Proverbs 31. Your price is worth more than rubies or precious gems. There's no value for you on earth. And so my dad took on fishing. My dad took on fishing dates, and sing and danced in the kitchen. But I'm just saying, your value is far more than
Yes.
precious jewels, and you should be treated like that and respected like that. We've gotten so far away from that in our culture these days, and I hate that for women, that they aren't honored and respected and cherished.
You cherish
It's
me.
more like that. The woman's like, I need to honor, cherish, and all of this you or something. But subscribe, like I was saying.
Yes.
So that you can see all of our content. Some of the things we say on here is not very popular on YouTube, and it might get hidden if you want to be able to see it. Especially if you go to some of our playlist and you see something's missing, that's because it's been hidden. I know of at least one that's hidden in one of our playlists. I saw it the other night, even for me. It warns me whenever it's hidden anyway. And so, just subscribe, comment, ask questions. If your question's good enough, we'll make a whole waycast about it. We probably could have, with this one, broke it up into two.
Yeah, we could have.
This one's gone on a little bit longer.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And then we hit the ding-a-ling.
Ding, ding, ding.
So
Notification.
So you can get notifications. So when we're on, you can come on and harass us and or at least keep us company. If I'm watching a video or something, I have tend to do that as well. But with that, I think that's it.
Yes. Did you say share?
Share.
Share.
Yeah.
Like. Subscribe.
Yeah, share. I'm not on social media, and so I ask you to share. If you have an account with like 6,000 followers or more, you kind of have a responsibility there to tell others about Jesus and help them. Very pretty.
It's pretty.
Elaine. Yes. You're welcome, Elaine. Oh, is she trying to show that she's crying?
I don't know.
It kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like
we love you.
We got to her.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we love you, and with that, we say
good night, good night, until we meet again. Adios, au revoir, I'll be the same again. And though it's always sweet sorrow to part, you know you'll always remain in my heart. Good night, sweet night, and pleasant dreams to you. Here's a wish and a prayer that every dream comes true. And now till we meet again. Adios, oh, I'll be there.
good night. Don't forget, you are loved.
Friends, there you have our show.